Hello, good evening, and welcome to the LFC Daytrippers Transfer Agenda Show. I'm your host, Keith Plunkett, and tonight I'm joined by Gav Doyle. Gav, how are you?
I'm in absolutely fantastic form. I think I told people the other day I hadn't drank in a little while. That fucking changes tonight. So
Lie.
cans all around. I hadn't drank in 4 weeks. Cans
Oh, okay,
all
that's a long
around.
time.
Into the freezer at about 7:30. Nearly forgot them, and they were nearly bulging to get out of the can itself when I went to open them. So it's all good. Cans, cans, cans.
What else would you be doing? What else would you be doing on
Don't
this
know.
random, non-eventful Thursday? Grizz Can, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Not too bad at all.
Yeah,
Busy day at the office.
busy day. Yeah, indeed. I'd say there was, a lot of stuff happening throughout the day, and we'll touch on some of that stuff now as the show goes on. It's been one of those days where you look, and next thing your phone is hopping. And look, we know where we're going to start with this. The big one had all the phones jumping all day. Nathaniel Clyne to Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson has said that they're having a look at him and they're going to take him in. Grizz, what do we make of this?
Massive, mate. A dream come true for Nathaniel Clyne, at this stage of his career. Starts off at Palace. No, does he start off at Palace?
He does, yeah. Starts at Palace, goes to Southampton, doesn't he?
There you go. What a turnaround for the kid. Still call him a kid because he still looks young to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully he can get a contract there. I think he's just training with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get a contract there and sort of carry on with his career.
Yeah.
Good for him, but good for Palace. Get solid pro. He's a Roy Hodgson type player, isn't he? So I mean, whatever,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Is.
Just he's
very,
the ultimate,
very vanilla, isn't he?
ultimate Roy Hodgson player. But yeah, fair play to him if you can get a contract, prove his fitness, and be good for him. Good on Clyne.
Well done, Clyne. Gav, Clyne, what do you think? Good meal from if he ends up at Palace under Hodgson's tutelage.
Yeah, I think he was linked there a little while ago, wasn't he? Before he went to Bournemouth on loan, I think he might have been linked to a return to Crystal Palace. But yeah, listen, you wish him all the best. He had a bad injury; it didn't work out for him at Liverpool in the end. So it's one of those where hopefully he finds a club. And listen, I don't envy anyone that plays under Roy Hodgson, but
Yeah.
it's one of those. People are asking, are we having a laugh?
Look, it's one of them things. Other stuff is happening. We all know other stuff is happening. But Nathaniel Clyne, it didn't work out for him in the end at Liverpool, but he started off okay. And if he gets a new club, happy days. I'd like to see him doing well, So we get this sort of stuff out of the way before we move on to the other stuff. So just bear with us, lads. Bear with us.
This fan base just hasn't got any patience, has it? We demanded, we asked, we requested, we pleaded for patience, and yet still they're popping off in the chat, no patience.
Yeah, and I think if you'd have learned that, and patience is a virtue. It's
Blair Campbell came for Clyne content, so there you
go.
So Blair knows the score, he knows the script. But look, Clyne is on the way out. Another one possibly on the way out. Raheem, Brewster, Grizz, Chris Wilde are confirming their stance on him. What are we making of that?
We're making of it what we've been saying. They're the front runners. They're not the only runners. Brewster's definitely leaving, as we've discussed many times. It's literally if we can get a fee for him as opposed to loan. We don't. First option is to sell him. But for that option to sort of come to fruition, we've got to get a proper bid for him. We've had decent bids for him, but not quite what we want. We think we can get what we want, and then unfortunately, for some people who really rate Brewster, he's gonna be moved on. So it's just a matter of if we can't agree a fee, then it'll be loan. But if we can get a nice, lovely 25 million, then we're going to sell him on.
Lovely stuff. Gav, what are you making of the Brewster situation? I know we all wanted to keep him around, but it's looking more and more likely, isn't it, that he'll be out the door?
Yeah, it does. I think it wasn't there a thing on Instagram?
Yeah.
Where basically, I think it was called Rising Ballers or something, I think was the name of the account, and they had a picture of him saying that Sheffield United are looked on the verge of doing this, and then of course he liked it, and that was confirmed. So he could be messing around. I don't think so. I think he's on his way out, unfortunately. But what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. These things happen. Didn't obviously isn't panning out for him at Liverpool, but who knows? He could go on to bigger and better things, or he may sink like a stone. What else happened today? Oh, THIAGO Thiago Alcantara. Liverpool have made a bid, and Grizz, I want to come to you. Oh, hold on. Yes, boss man.
Big glass of
There
milk.
you go.
There you go.
Say that name again.
Which name?
Thiago
Alcantara. Yeah.
No interest, no?
No interest, Grizz.
No active target, Gaff? Not an active target?
Not an active target.
Fake news.
Fraud?
Yeah, fraud. I heard fraud. Yeah, I heard that.
Spoofer?
We're buying nobody.
Yeah.
We're buying nobody?
We've no money.
Depends on outgoings?
It depends on outgoings.
You know.
Genie
when Alden has to go to get one in because we sell the boy. He's getting more Irish.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he? He is. He is. But on a serious note, I got up this morning. I had a rough night last night. It was nothing to do with drink. It was to do with a teething child.
I told you, switch the milk. I told you.
And woke up, and next thing, Paul Joyce was sending out tweets, and I was like, hold on, here we go. And my first thought was, this fucker better be out of bed. And I texted him, I rang his wife to try to get him out of bed, and I just said, listen, I just sent her a voicemail saying, listen, just go over to the side of the bed and say these words: Paul Joyce, James Pearce, Thiago Alcantara. He will be out of that bed like you've never seen him get out of that bed before. And eventually he came around, and I got in contact with him, and in fairness, his wife did text back and go, you were spot on. I've never seen him bound out of bed as quick in my life, which was amazing. But it was great news to wake up to. You know, we've spoken about this on this show for weeks and weeks and weeks, and there's other people out there that dealt with it. There's other people out there that, you know, I don't know, put across that we'd no money. And I'm talking about all sorts of media, regard Liverpool, everything. Yeah. Told us we weren't interested. You know, it depended on this, it depended on that. We couldn't stretch to the budget. We had to do this. There was so much that went on, and we stayed on it. And Chris in particular, in fairness to him, and he just kept saying, Gav, it's happening. Keith, it's happening. And he was updating with us, and his updates were probably 2 to 3 days ahead of what you were seeing in the media. And I mean that, because I'm the first one to turn around and say, Grizz, give it over, and I take the piss out of him. But in fairness to him, he was 2 or 3 days ahead of what was actually coming out. And to wake up to this morning, it's you could put it down as, in terms of his stature in the game, it's one of Liverpool's biggest ever signings, and I mean that.
I agree. It's a player that's literally at the top of the game coming into Liverpool. Grizz, what do you make of that assessment? Do you agree that it's like we've usually made the players into superstars, but this is the superstar being handed to us on a plate? What do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Gavin. And I hate to say I couldn't agree more with the clueless lads at Sky Sports. I don't know if our viewers, listeners, or any of you saw Sky Cave. Yeah. The guy, that Cave, whatever his surname is, I apologize. The fellow talking about we're talking about Thiago Alcantara, in my opinion, probably the best deep-lying playmaker in world football, who's coming off winning a treble with Bayern. Bayern, in their own right, an absolute super club, a super giant club, who's been offered a 4-year deal. Bayern offers him a 4-year deal and says, and then sort of gave him everything he wanted in the clause, in the new contract, everything, wages increase, everything. Whatever he asked for, he got in that contract. It was offered to him. And he didn't sign it. And the reason he didn't sign it, because he didn't want to stay at, not that he didn't want to stay at Bayern, but he wanted to come to a certain club and play for a certain coach. And this is what I was saying to people as soon as I got whiff of this, and sort of, you know, a lot of people are funny on Twitter. Loads of people are screenshotting my first ever response when someone asked me about Thiago. So do you know when sort of someone said, Chris, do you think there's anything in Thiago? And I just logged on and I saw the question, and it said, someone asked me, and you know me, Keith, I'm a nice guy. I like to chat to people. You know, I'm not arrogant like that or anything. I chat to anyone wherever I can, however I can. So I said to him, no, I don't think there's any much interest in him. I can't see this because we all, including every one of us, including the journalists, everything, thought Thiago Alcantara, Liverpool, FSG, doesn't make sense. That's one of those made-up names. That's a fantasy signing. But obviously, lo and behold, as soon as I sort of made a few calls or sat in a cafe behind some people and listened into their conversations, it came to sort of light that we are interested in him, and that's amazing. Shows where we are, guys, as a club. Where are we? We are at the top of the table. We're dining so fine. Thiago Alcantara wants to leave Bayern Munich and come to play for Liverpool, not PSG, not Barcelona, not Man United, not Man City, not Chelsea. All these clubs, I can categorically tell every single viewer, listener came in for him. As the report said, and what did we say? He doesn't want to know them. The reason why their links died down after 2-3 days, he had given his word to Klopp. Klopp had given his word to him. The deal was going to be done. And again, we asked for patience. These kind of deals are complex because then there was this thrown. Do you remember, Gav? Then the theory was thrown, oh, well, why should we pay 30 million when we can get free for next summer? Do you know? Yeah. And so therefore, it was a complex deal where we had Bayern over the barrel, basically. And today's, I don't quite agree with the figures that have come out, but whatever, that's nitpicking. The fact is, we done them nice. We handled it nice. We always knew Thiago wanted us, and we wanted Thiago. And whatever was said in the media, and whatever was released into the media and journalists, whatever, we knew that was bollocksy. Absolutely fantastic news to wake up to. Woke up to my phone. My phone was like, I don't know. I can't even tell you the messages and pings, and most of them from Gav. Like, you know, he hadn't slept, I don't think. And some of his voice notes were hilarious. But yeah, absolutely fantastic news. Over the moon. You know, as I said, when we get Thiago in, I want to know what we're going to moan about next.
I don't.
You know,
I don't.
Go on.
I don't want to know what we're going to moan about next because.
Oh, you don't know? Yeah, I don't know as well.
I don't know, and I don't want to know. Because I'll tell you why. It's becoming a thing that's just done like people are in automatic. You know, It seems to be just it's becoming an automatic response or an automatic trait in people. And I said it on the Instagram thing this morning. Follow us on Instagram, by the way. That's going to get really good as it goes on. But I said it needs to stop. It needs to stop. And I've said, and we've said, don't get me wrong, and we're gutted Shawnee isn't here tonight. He's in Spain on his holidays, but we're gutted he's not here tonight because Shawnee has been alongside. I would say alongside. Put it this way: Grizz, Keaton, Shawnee. I wavered a little bit. I'm going to be honest, but I'm an emotional guy. But they all said, look, this is going to happen. They were absolutely damn sure it was going to happen, and the reason it has to stop is because. You don't know what's going on. And we have all said, come the 5th, 6th of October, whenever the window closes or the following morning when the dust settles, we don't have I feel, Keith, Grizz, Shawnee, whoever, Chris Brack, whoever else is on, all the people in this chat, because a lot of the people in the chat, although they argue quite a bit, feel the same way. You know, the kind of way. But that today, what happens with regards to Thiago is proof to anybody, anywhere, and that Liverpool do business, and when they want to do it, they do it, right? Yeah. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about players' ages. Don't worry about, you know, their signing on fee, their whatever it might be, royalties, whatever it is. If Liverpool need to do business, they will do business. And that today has... the reason it proves with me most is because it would have been very easy. And I've seen people, don't get me wrong, I've seen people say, we'll never sign him. He's 29 years of age. You know, sources within the club say, no, he's not that type of player. You know, Michael Edwards wouldn't go near him. Forget it. It's over. That game is over, right? It's absolutely over. And for me, that signing today, as I said, and somebody said it in the chat as well, a lot of people have, he's the most ready-made world-class player we've ever signed. And there's nobody that comes close to it, I don't think. You know, people might go, well, Suarez, Van Dijk, Alisson, Torres, they're nowhere near the level when they joined Liverpool as this fella is. And it's an outrageous signing. It's brilliant. And it's not only amazing for us, but I believe it will send a shiver down the spine of most Premier League sides now, because the one thing that you would find with Liverpool, and if people are talking about them, is, can they unlock a defence? Can they unlock this? Liverpool played a lot of games last season where teams weren't interested in playing football, and they won a shitload of them. But if you want to double down, we're going to drop Thiago Alcantara on you now, and he will put balls through eyes of needles all day long. And it's just an outstanding signing by a club that have seen an opportunity, signed a player at 20, possibly 25 million, and he is genuinely worth, in my opinion, 50 to 60 million easy at 29 years of age. So it's absolutely outrageous, and I love it. And I see Goldbridge is having a meltdown, apparently. That imminent signing of Manchester United and Jadon Sancho is now 8/9th week. So when people are telling you, well, I'm wondering, are they skint?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of money, isn't it? We've discussed how many times, how many times have we said it? It's not an easy market to spend money. And Man United is a prime, apart from Chelsea, but they're an anomaly. But, for the rest of the clubs all around Europe, it's not easy to drop 100 million, They've got to drop 100 million if they want Sancho. But we'll maybe come on to that. If they don't drop money on Sancho, we know a club that will be willing to next season. But we won't go there. But I'm going to let Keith talk about Thiago, because I know Keith's a lover of football. Go on, talk to us about Thiago, Keith, because you're a football lover.
I think we've all been steadfast from the very beginning. I know Gab said he wavered a bit, but it was never really that much. I mean, even at the very start, I didn't want to believe the Thiago news, because I just felt this is one that would break our hearts. You get your hopes up looking at Thiago. I went to Barcelona in, I think it was 2012, me and the missus, and we went to a match in the Nou Camp, coldest experience ever in my life, Baltic. Thiago was playing that night, and Messi was playing, and I just wanted to see Messi, but I couldn't take my eyes off Thiago. And ever since then, I've just been following his career. And me and Shawnee spoke about this before we were linked with signing Thiago, like the best midfielder in the world. I don't think, Grizz, you said the best deep line playmaker. I think he's the best midfielder in the world. And that's not just, we signed him and we're saying this. I mean,
we said this before.
De Bruyne is up there. I'm not saying
De Bruyne
is not
Gav on positions and Kevin De Bruyne and central midfielders.
I just think Thiago Alcantara is one of the best midfielder in the world, and that's not he signed for us, so we're saying it. We've all been sort of adamant, and the reason I think we've been adamant is when you listen to the reports that we've been coming on, and Grizz, you touched on this. PSG were linked, and then they weren't linked, because it all came across that, no, he's going to Liverpool. He says he wants Liverpool, and Liverpool want him. We had our feet up, had our slippers on, and the cigar in the hands. Man United came in at the end. Well, we got Barcelona were linked, wasn't happening. City were linked because of the Pep link, didn't happen. Chelsea were linked, didn't happen. They probably ran out of money. Then United was the one, and people were panicking about the United link. Didn't make any sense to me at all. Why would he go to United? And that's not a dig at Man United if there's any fans in there. We're the Premier League champions. He wanted to come to us. Man U are rebuilding. They've already bought a midfield player. It didn't make sense to me that there was any genuine link there. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But I just always felt all the talk coming out, everything was shut down straight away, except Liverpool. So it was obvious to me that we were going to swap.
Do you know what people are saying, that Gav's getting smashed? And Macro says some toast on Gav. Literally, lads, I've just eaten that can. I don't even think I've opened it. I've just eaten it. Kieran Thorne says there's 1,197 watching. There's only 257 likes. Yeah, hit the like
if
button.
We're not going to get the likes. No, basically, if we don't get
here comes Grace with his ultimatums.
Well, there's no other choice. I've got no other choice. That's
I just want another can. Go on.
That's taking the piss, isn't it? If we don't get 600 likes, then, the best news of today.
Are you taking your ball home?
I have to.
Okay. Fair enough.
So we need to get 500-600 likes before. Keith, I'm not going to answer any of the updates, questions, unless we get 600. So,
Oh,
mate,
wow.
keep an eye on the looks.
Oh, there you
That's a
go.
big shout.
Just keep us updated on the likes, folks. Get them rattling in. Look, there's over 1,000 people, over 1,200 watching us. We know everybody's not going to like, but if you're in there and you like what we do and you enjoy the show, just hit the like button. It helps our channel out a lot. You know what I mean? It's not an ego thing. It's not like,
no, it's not.
You know, it's not like Twitter where you put things for like.
It helps our platform. It helps this website. It helps our
It
YouTube
promotes
channel.
us, exactly.
We're clearly telling you what it helps. It's not like Twitter likes or retweets. Oh, Grizz just after the likes, Grizz just after the retweets. We're after likes for the benefit of our channel, so it can progress.
It gives us a bigger reach. It gives us into more avenues. So, you know, hit the like,
people, man. Please
hit the likes. No, it's true, Gav. We're nearly on 1,400 viewers here. Just hit the likes, lads. Like I said, it helps us out.
It's 300. It's 381 now. So there you go, lads.
440 actually.
Well, there you go. Look, and listen, very aggressive from the two of you, I have to say. I think is. You know, you'll see us.
You ain't seen the abuse I've been getting, Gav. Aggressive. That's what you call aggressive.
That's just for me and Keith.
Do you know what I mean?
But you'll see us. What beer are you drinking? My favourite. It's Pratsky. It's premium Czech lager. Brewed to a Czech tradition. I will let you know. 8 cans for £9, mate. But it's amazing. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. But just coming back on something that you said, Keith, and you couldn't see it, and like you're right. Barcelona, Man City, PSG, United, Arsenal were even mentioned at one stage, weren't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's you couldn't see it. The one thing that I was kind of going, they can't really push up the price. There's been a kind of price set, and there's been, you know, how they can't get an auction going here because the price is set, and the talk was he only wants Liverpool. The one thing that came out today was, and it was a tweet that went up onto our timeline, and I think it might have been who's the Bayern president?
Karl-Heinz Rummenigge.
It might have been him. I don't want to misquote him if it was, but it was basically, when you read the tweet, it's like, we offered such and such. He decided that he wanted, and this is the key words, he decided he wanted a different challenge at the end of his career. Which Rummenigge, right? So it makes it look like Bayern Munich are letting a player go that's past his best and approaching the end of his career. Let me tell you, that is salt. That's salt, right? And people use this salt thing all the time. And that was salt, absolutely. And that to me, when people said, I don't see it, and I don't see it, and that to me was, no, there was definitely nothing happening anywhere else, because I reckon they tried to either get an auction going, which was impossible because there was a price named, or Liverpool were screwing them. And they didn't like it. And they wanted them to go anywhere else but Liverpool because Liverpool were screwing them.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, £20 million up front, all right, or 5 million a year for 4 years, plus 5 million on top, only if we start winning leagues and Champions Leagues. They have screwed them, okay?
Yeah.
And that comment today tells me that, yes, it's absolutely true. There was nothing in the other clubs, but it was Bayern putting all that out because they were basically going, these pricks have us by the balls. Can we get them somewhere else for the same money, just to show Liverpool that we won't be bullied? That, for me, is what it spelled out.
That's exactly spot on, Gav. I'm telling you now, his agent was approached and was told, every one of those clubs that we've mentioned that were linked with him were prepared to pay the whole fee up front. Name your wages, everything. He still said, thanks, but no thanks. And you know, so much bullshit has been written about the pull of Lampard, right? And the pull of Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
He's taking that top off because people keep commenting on it.
Oh, I love this game. Oh, Keith's.
I'm getting stick for wearing my Barca top.
Yeah,
I was out training and only came in, so
you got to explain, give context. Keith, always give context like I do. Now you know context is important, right? Gav's always slating me about it, but it's very important. But yeah, I mean, everyone, how much bullshit have we read about the pull of Ole for Van den Beek and Bruno, and the pull of Frank Lampard? You know, bollocks. This is what you call pull. This is what you got to pull when clubs are willing to pay the whole fee, 30 million euros up front. Name your wage. He said, thank you, but no thank you. His agent was tempted. A lot of this stuff was being slightly put out there by his agent because, you know, it's a benefit for him as well. But at the end of the day, THIAGO was steadfast. He only wants Oh, we forgot about Arsenal. Yeah. Only once Arsenal, thanks Avi for reminding me, Arsenal went in for him as well. Turned away. And that's what you call a pull of a manager and a coach and a club like Liverpool. We're dining at the top table, guys, man. We ain't looking to mess about here. But yeah, 600 keeps up.
Takes off another layer. It's only one layer left. I'd love if you said no. I have a thermal vest on underneath.
Yeah, an Under Armour. No, only one.
Not Under Armour, something from Penny's or Primark for you people in the UK.
String vest.
Just string Rabsy Nesbitt. Yeah. No, listen. I think you're right, Grizz, and I think. You know, we laugh and we say, you know, Michael Edwards at masterclass incoming, but I will agree with one thing that was said on Sky Sports earlier, and to be honest with you, I knocked on Sky earlier, I hit Sky Sports News, and it just happened to pop up on the screen. I was actually going to watch the US Open golf, but one thing that lad said, you know the lad that said that Frank Lampard has great pull when it's actually 300 grand a week he's thrown around, I don't know his name, I can't remember his name.
I think it might have been Sky Cave again.
Was it?
Is his name Sky Cave?
No, it's
Cave Solveig.
All right, okay, all right. I was going to go, it was quite apt, but that's how much I watch Sky Sports News. I don't watch Sky News. I can't in case Martin Tyler wanders onto the screen. They're doing when they're doing you know, Sky Sports News and Martin Tyler wanders across the screen looking for the fucking vending machine or something. I just can't risk it. But one thing I will agree with, and what he said was, you know, the pull of Liverpool, and it is the pull of Liverpool, because I can guarantee you, Liverpool aren't offering the money that a City would offer, or a United would offer, or potentially what an Arsenal would offer, and definitely not what a PSG would offer. But it's the pull, and this is extremely important. And when people look and say to you, well, Liverpool only spent this, well, that's all they have to spend, lads. Right? Simon Cavey is his name, says Dan Barker. But the thing is, that's all they have to spend, because they are so well drilled in what they're doing. And this is why I get frustrated at, well, we're not signing anyone. And the only relief, a big relief for me today is, like, I seen a tweet the other day. It was Kevin Kelleher making a double save against Everton, the mini derby, and straight underneath it, sign THIAGO. You know, it's one of those, and I'm glad that that's gone. I am glad that that's all gone now. But I will agree, the pull of Liverpool, you cannot underestimate it, and I think it's huge going forward, and I think it's only going to build, because I think if this club goes and wins another league title next season, which I think you would have to make absolute favourites after today, because if you're making City favourites on Ake and Ferran Torres, you're most certainly making Liverpool favourites. With Tsimikas, believe it or not, and Thiago Alcantara. The pull is there, and if we go and we do a Champions League or a league or both over the next 2 to 3 seasons, it's only going to grow and grow. And that's why you're probably looking at Jurgen Klopp and going, he might extend, lads. He might actually fucking extend, because listen, you can talk all you want about, you know, people come into it and say, oh, his wife might want to go back to Germany. His wife pushed him towards Liverpool. She needed to put him on the plane herself, right? And he might be looking at it, and you might say, well, 2024 will be there nearly 9 years and stuff like that. You don't replace this buzz ever. And you're a long time retired. I know men that are 65, 66 and 67 years of age, and they retire, and within 6 months they're fucking bored, right? And they might work with the council, they might be a printer, they might be a bread man, they might be anything, and that's their buzz, getting up every day and doing that, because there's certain facets to their job that they love, and when it's gone, it's gone. And I have a feeling that the biggest thing for Liverpool, after seeing what's gone on today, is the pull of the club, the pull of Jurgen Klopp. And as the success gets more and more, people will not be able to resist, and money won't matter.
Yeah, it really, it's turned everything on its head, because the narrative, it's not just idiot fans in the Liverpool fan base on Twitter that are screaming and putting things under, as you say, an article about Kevin Kelleher, and they're sign THIAGO. That nonsense is ridiculous, and it needs to stop, and it needs to go away. But it won't. We know it won't. One of the biggest reactions I've seen was genuine reactions from fans of Man U, fans of other teams, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all like, bollocks. these have signed THIAGO, and it's genuine. There's no bravado out of them. There's no, sure, you've got THIAGO, we got the Van de Beek, we got Nathan Ake. It's a genuine case of, I can't believe these are after doing that. They're after smashing the league, and they've gone and bought the best midfielder in the world in a position of an area of the team that we maybe don't shine as much on. We don't shine as much in the middle of the park. It's a workman-like midfield. Big shout to all the up the
big
bread,
shout
man.
out to all the bread men. Yeah,
Up the bread, man. Big fans of their work. But we, well, I don't even know what I was saying. We fucking
you lost,
bread
Keith.
man, Gav.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's you and bread man. And I was going to say something good as well, but other fans' reactions have just been telling for me. I know we're going. I was talking about the midfield maybe being workmanlike, and this is the one area. Last season, teams I felt were starting to nullify our threat a bit, even though we think we took our foot off the pedal after the lockdown, after the restart. Before that, it was doubling up on the wings and cutting out the supply from wide, whether that's the forwards or whether it's the fullbacks, and that's how they were getting us. Well, now they've to deal with a player in the middle of the park that's going to be playing leading through balls, mega killer through balls from about 60 yards that'll be cutting 3 and 4 players out into the runs of our forwards. It's a new headache for them. It's the one thing that the rivals didn't want us to do, and we've gone and done it. We signed a 29-year-old that we don't do. That's against FSG. Well, there you go. This deal just throws everything on its head, and it's going to make us... Do you know what? If THIAGO doesn't work out, and I don't want to be talking about, we haven't even signed them yet. If THIAGO doesn't work out, we're not hanging all our hopes on this one deal. We're in a position that we're not used to, where this is like the cherry on top, and it's a great position to be in. Grizz, I want to come back to you. What do you make of what THIAGO brings to the team? What do you think he's going to add to what we already have? What do you think he's going to add to that?
Well, we've discussed so many times about since Klopp's been at this club and how we've improved and evolved every season. And in my opinion, this is another stage in that, evolution of the way our team's going to play and plays. We discussed this 4-2-3-1 that Klopp's been flirting with, and maybe it's a sort of foresight into how we're going to play THIAGO, in a 2 with either Hendo, Fabinho, or when we feel like taking the piss, Keita. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those situations where it gives us options and gives us a variety of ways of playing and attacking teams. One of the biggest criticisms from within the Liverpool fan base was about our creativity from midfield. Our midfielders being very much alike. Your bog standard runners, fit, energetic, but not much craft, not much guile. This blows all that shit out the window, people. This blows it out of the water. This guy sees passes, man. Back of his head, side of his head, from his ass. This guy's got eyes everywhere. People talk about back of the head now. This guy's got eyes everywhere, man. He's magnificent. And I just can't wait to see him play and see how he fits and evolve, makes this team take the next step. I mean, and going back to the people demanding sort of players, it's like, it's almost, and people are sort of transfixed in this sort of notion that, I don't know, again, who sort of makes or forces these narratives, I'm not sure, probably media or maybe the club giving leaks out to the local journalists about, we have a strict policy, we have a profile of player that we stick to and adhere to. Well, we've proved we don't. We've proved, and I know we've gone for players in the past that don't fit the profile. We haven't got the deals over the line, but they didn't fit the profile either, but we've gone in for them. And this is a player we've gone in for and proved to everyone, including our own insecure sections of the fan base, that, look, let them be. Let them deal with what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. I've been repeating, ranting, raving, saying we've got the best people in charge, the most cleverest businessmen. Yes, they are businessmen. Yes, we could have paid the 30 million euros as soon as we had agreed with THIAGO. But why, when we can get the deal that we wanted? The The world's going mad. Sky Sports are going mad. How have Liverpool got him for this much? Well, the reason why they've got him for this much is because the way we work, because of our people, because of Edwards and Co. And again, it's a signing that proves that, Jurgen Klopp has, people saying, oh, Jurgen Klopp hasn't got much of a say and he's got to say what FSG are telling him. Well, this signing didn't come up or flash up on analytics teams' laptops. This wasn't an Edwards laptop signing where stats, running stats, pressing stats, etc., all these other podcasts that tell you this kind of signing wouldn't come up on Edwards' laptop. Fuck off. This was Jurgen Klopp saying he's a world-class footballer. Get him to my club. And they turned around to said to Klopp, we'll get you Thiago Alcantara. Just bear with us. Let us work the way we work. And that's what Klopp's agreed to. Klopp's agreed to say, I want him. However you do it, how much it costs, how you do this payment structure, you're the experts. And that's how great teams work in every field of life. Great teamwork.
But you see, that's where the narrative comes from that, Liverpool don't look for players at 27, 28, 29 because they're too well known. We like to have this narrative that we're looking at 22 to 23, 24, 25-year-olds that aren't at their peak, a little bit under the radar at certain times. You could call Mane under the radar. Genuinely, you could. You could call Mane under the radar. Salah not so much because he was in England. He'd been in England, left, and there was a whole rigmarole. We talked about this on the show with the lads, the midweek fixed, about how that's hung on to him. Probably last weekend when he scored a hat-trick. And you see, there's a narrative there that Liverpool have to, like Chris says, open up the laptop, start hitting software and start banging it all in and just walk her off stats and go, he's good. Clubs have tried it. There's clubs in Denmark that try it. Brentford tried it. Trust me, Brentford fucking tried it. They went on algorithms to try sign players and see who could be the best. They absolutely did. I think they've done away with it now and look at them, they're good. But, that's why if it doesn't look, sometimes I feel that people think that you have to be really clever in a transfer to make it viable. And what I mean by that is that, there's Kevin De Bruyne over there and he can sign him, or we can go for this fella that's playing for fucking Panathinaikos and he's way cheaper and let's do him. We're going to do him because we're really clever. No, that's not how it works. How it works is that you do look for value. Absolutely you look for value. And especially with the model that Liverpool have. But when it comes down to it and you need something and you feel that it's just too good of an opportunity to turn down, you act on it. And that's the big thing in this, Chris. The decisiveness in which Liverpool have acted. And all right, it might have been dragged out by Bayern Munich, I think, more than anybody else. But the decisiveness in which Liverpool have acted on this. And I've seen comments there saying Terry off the Football Terrace has opened up a show tonight by saying Liverpool caved to the price. Listen, I like Terry. He's a lovely fella, but he's talking bollocks, right? Yeah. And the reason he's talking bollocks is because the money going around was £30 million. Okay? Liverpool won't pay £30 million, even if they put the fucking $5 million on top. So there's no cave in here whatsoever. Okay? Plus, if they actually win things and have to give Bayern that extra $5 million, it might be a league, it might be a European Cup, but I can tell you it would dwarf the $5 million that they may have to pay.
Gav, yeah. I think we even talked about the intricate details of our offer. I said 22 million. It's come out. It's 20 million. It was 22 million plus 5 million if we win the Champions League and Premier League. And if we do, it's a win-win situation. If we have to pay that extra 5 million, it's a win-win situation. It's a fantastic deal. Picking up a world, as we said, we've talked about.
How much money do you think you get for winning the Champions League?
I can't tell you, mate. That's like one of those.
Million, is it?
75 million. So Liverpool would have to give away 8% of a Champions League win to Bayern Munich if they won a Champions League and Thiago was part of it. 8%. 8.
Yeah, the 5 million is made up of.
I reckon it's 2.5 for 2 competitions.
Yeah, so it's made up of 2. But just to possibly finish up on Thiago, maybe, because I think we're running out of time. We've got loads to talk about yet, so don't be going anywhere. Just to add on, so many things have come out. Like, I've been reading the journalists' version of events. And you had James Pearce sort of talking last night saying there's no contact being made and everything. And people sort of actually believing that two mega clubs like Bayern Munich and Liverpool sort of resolved this over one phone call. And so contact was made this morning. You know, come on, guys. You know, I'm not asking you to sort of totally not believe or write off what the journalists are saying. But if there was any proof, I mean, I think the Echo are still saying, you know, contact made. I think they've reached that point today.
Yeah.
You know, we've contacted the clubs. But you know,
the Echo are on Nilo sat the air.
Yeah, exactly. They're on one of those IPTV that's frozen.
And you know something? And don't be afraid to turn around and say this about the Echo, because the Echo are the ones that have shot down every single person. And I'm not talking about us, or I'm not talking about, it could be the Anfield Rap or Redmen TV or I don't know, whoever said it, okay? They've shot down every single person, right? And they've constantly said, no, not an active target. It's not going to happen. Liverpool aren't interested. This A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they went through the whole alphabet. And then to come out this morning as if they were revealing fucking this, as if it was all a kind of gotcha moment, was mind-blowing, to be perfectly honest with you. We have a guest, lads.
People, we have a guest?
Yeah.
Okay,
Want to see the guest?
Go on then.
Okay.
It's Coppish very own Callum Sanderson.
I tell you, there was a few WhatsApp conversations, dude.
Yeah.
Today with Cow as well today.
First and foremost, I've got to apologise. I made a massive boo-boo, so apologies to you guys. And then I've just come over from the football terrace, which was very, very debated and heated, which it feels nice to be around other Liverpool fans again. It feels
very
good.
civilised in here tonight, Callum. It's all very civilised.
It's not really, Callum. I'm on the cans.
I mean, now that Callum's out, we're going to let him talk about THIAGO.
Nathaniel Klein. Callum Nathaniel Klein to Crystal Palace, the big one.
Listen.
Talking about the big move.
We can't even flog that horse anymore. Callum, THIAGO, what do you think?
We went on the stream earlier. I put on this little Santa hat. I said Christmas comes early. I'll be honest with you. And Grizz, you know this as well. I said it wasn't going to happen. I just thought, it's not going to happen. There's something's going to come up, and we're just not going to secure him. As soon as I got a WhatsApp message from Grizz this morning saying, "Listen, I told you," I said, oh, it's going to happen. Check my phone. I was like, oh, it's definitely happening. And I've just had a smile on my face all day since then. It's beautiful. And feeling.
Is the rumour true that Drifty is going around now saying that all he wants for Christmas now is actually a Super Nintendo because he's got Thiago Alcantara?
He's got to change what he wants now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I heard he's texted all his relatives and said, "Listen, club together if you need to, but if it's not a Super Nintendo under that tree on Christmas, there's going to be serious issues."
I'll be honest, today's the most I've seen Drifty smile, and I've known him for about 3 years, so
yeah. He's an absolute madman, he is. I love him.
Yeah.
Big fan of his work.
But people are saying, people are asking sort of the announcement. I was of the understanding they tried to get the announcement done for tonight, and even registered, because we do actually want him in the squad for Sunday. That's how mad this is, but we couldn't get it for tonight.
I think he has to be registered by sometime tomorrow.
By midday tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can assure Liverpool fans that the medical is done. There's only a second small part, which is an absolute formality. Don't be thinking Fakir and all that business, because you know how insecure Liverpool fans. I
hope he has to have 4 or 5 points in quick succession and then stand on one foot and say the alphabet backwards. I hope that's the second.
Old school medical.
The main part of the medical is done. Take the pictures, all the videos is done. He's signed the thing. He's signed it. What you're going to get next is only the official sort of, bringing it out. Sort of the media team going to bring it out to Liverpool, the official announcement.
I would say he's registered. I would say he's registered before we announce it.
He will be. He will be. He'll be registered first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm everyone's doing their bingo. I'm thinking 9 a.m., but what do I know?
It's always 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., Grizz. And if
what
it's
do I
10
know?
a.m., you'll
That's
be
what
in
I
bed.
did.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Wake me up,
interesting.
guys. Fuck's sake. Wake me up again.
I'm not waking. Listen, I'm not some sort of hotel porter. You know what I mean? But when anything like this happens, I just do think of you and think,
Sorry,
well, I'd
my
hate
hand's
for him to
tied.
miss
No
it.
more autographs. No more autographs. I'm done for the day.
That's your ma, is it?
I got cramp.
Yeah, your ma's knocking at the door. What's your ma doing there at that late?
I got cousins and family knocking on my door saying, "Yeah, Uncle Grizz."
Is it the mad? Is it the mad? Is it the mad Irish people from next door?
I tell you, mad Irish people, Liverpool fans as well. They're saying,
Yeah.
Because
All
when
right.
I told them we're signing Liverpool, they was asking me bollocks. But now they're all my friends. Now they want to bring me potato crisps and all sorts.
It's Tato, not Tato.
Man,
Well, are you practicing for America? Are you going to America with the Arsenal lad?
That's it.
Of course, what's his name? Went to America. Grizz might be going with him. Is that his name? Is that that's it's a strange name to christen someone. But anyway, Owen Conway says talk of Jota to Liverpool is the latest rumour, but we haven't heard anything on that. Bob on the chat says 1,000 likes. Come on, I don't know how many we're at.
We're at 777.
Of course, we can do fucking 1,000. Sure, we're at getting Callum from Coppish in.
Yeah,
I was just going to say,
Callum traffic in there.
Callum has stepped into the building and we're not looking to get 1,000 likes. Come on.
Okay.
No pressure on me, though, guys. No pressure on me.
Okay.
That's a lot of pressure on my little shoulders.
Right, Keith, take control of this, will you, before we run amok here?
It's one of them days. You know, one thing I wanted to touch on, and we've touched briefly on it, before we move away from THIAGO, just to give Callum a bit of a say, and it's not necessarily about THIAGO, it's about Michael Edwards, and it's about, you know, the role that he has played in getting this deal over the line. You know, we've seen a lot of people saying, oh, just pay the money, and it comes out that the deal we've done, like Michael Edwards is playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers. Callum, what do you make of the way Liverpool have got this deal over the line? Hopefully, I know we're jumping the gun, that hasn't been officially confirmed, but the way the structure of the payments has come out,
the contract.
you know, it's, you don't want to push our luck. But what do you make of how the deal is done? Like, is it a case that you have faith in anything Michael Edwards will do? Or were you nervous? I know you said you were a bit flip-floppy on it, but...
Yeah, for me, I was never nervous about Michael Edwards. It was about whether we as a club would put up the money. I'll be honest, we've been doing some building work, me and the missus at the house, and I might just send the cement up to Liverpool so they can just build Michael Edwards' statue now. Because it's what he's done since he's been at Liverpool, not even just this deal, it's phenomenal. When you think of he's got rid of, and I hate to use the word rid of because I did rate them when we had them, but you see how the development's gone. But Sacco, Jordan Ibe, Coutinho, Suarez, all these players he's managed to get stupid amount of money for. And look how he's refreshed the squad with that same amount of money. To think Bayern Munich said they wanted a certain amount, we've got him for less than that. I'm not going to say what we've done is reinvent the wheel in terms of how the deal has been staggered, because the way the deal has been staggered is quite normal for most teams. But even when you look at things like the Minamino deal, Man United wanted Minamino and were willing to pay 20 million. But yet Michael Edwards has gone in there and said, well, no, we'll have him for his actual release clause of 7 million. The guy he's just on a different level. There's no one, apart from Bayern Munich, I don't think there's anyone else in world football that I would trust more than Michael Edwards in this role. It's just phenomenal what he's done.
It really is. I mean, it I know what you're saying. The deal is structured like a lot of deals are, but in the COVID situation, maybe it's changing it, because we're hearing more reports of clubs are demanding money up front. Look at the Sancho thing, you know, it's money up front. They're not looking to entertain structures at all. And for Liverpool to come along and to get this down, as we said a minute ago, you know, people are shouting, just pay the money. We've now gone in and got this deal at 20 million plus 5. You know,
crazy.
If we end up paying 25 million for this fella, it means we're hoovering up leagues and Champions Leagues, and it's, you know, it's win-win for everybody. It's win-win across the board. So I just can't see any negatives with it. You know, it's been great. One thing as well, you know, before we move on to other targets that Liverpool have, I want to move away from Liverpool slightly. We spoke about Spurs doing business, you know, and what do we make of the Gareth Bale and not so much the Regulion deal, but the Gareth Bale deal? 10 million loan, is it? And 250 grand a week wages. I mean, that's a lot of money for a player of his age and injury record, Gav, isn't it?
It's what we said the other night. There's no structure to what's going on here. There's no structure to what's going on here. Regulon, is that? Can I call him that? Because that's just the easiest way it comes out of my mouth. So Regulon, okay. I'll try make it come out of my mouth different if you want, if it's really upsetting anybody. But the Regulon for the moment, okay.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. But the thing is, he makes a hell of a lot of sense for Spurs. He's a left back. Their left back that's there is
Ben Davies.
Ben Davies. He's not any good. The other fella was on a documentary having a big moan.
Danny Rose. Yeah.
Danny Rose. He went off to Newcastle, and I don't think they want him, so he's back. I don't know what's going on. He'll end up going somewhere. So that makes a lot of sense. And people have criticised Spurs for, we are allowing a buyback deal in it. Yeah, because that's the way Spurs are playing the game at the moment. And because, Jose Mourinho is your manager. He's not looking to, bring a 19-year-old in from the academy and go, listen, over the next 5 years, I'll nurture you into the best left back in the country. No, he's going to look for someone to go 2 years and then we can buy him back. No problem. I won't be here anyway. So that's that. Yeah. But the Bale thing is just mind-blowing to me. This is a guy, and listen, I'm not doubting Gareth Bale's ability. He could come into the Premier League and absolutely rip it apart. No problem. But at the same time, he is more interested in playing golf than he is playing football. And that's the fucking truth. Okay? He's pictured more on golf courses than he is seen on football pitches. His injury record is poor. Okay? Plus 250 grand a week. Now you start looking, and now you have Harry Kane, and now you have Son, and now you have maybe Dele Alli, I'm not too sure, but definitely Lloris. Is Lloris club captain? I think he might be. So now you're looking and you're saying, these lads are going to go, hold on, we've no money. Big stadium, we've no money, we're taking out loans and we're giving it all to this fella. You know what I mean? They're giving this fella 12 million quid a year, okay, for a loan deal, plus 10 million on top. And all these lads that have played for Spurs, got them to a Champions League final, admittedly weren't very good last season, are meant to stand back and go, all hail Gareth Bale. The guy that's probably looking up golf courses or the nearest golf shop to buy his clubs when he gets over. So to me, it could work. I think it's a massive gamble. It's a short-term thing, but that's what's to be expected with Mourinho there. But there's better short-term options out there for me.
Do you know my opinion on it? And I was on 90 Minutes a few hours ago.
Drop that in, of course, yeah.
Shout out to my boys.
Drop that in.
My homies at 90 Minutes. Yeah. But yeah, so look.
Who's the main fella there?
Ben Haynes. Shout out to
Love
Ben.
him. The rest of them won't do a podcast unless they pay it. It's atrocious.
But hey, listen, Gav, you got me. What do you need all these other fellas for, man? What are you trying to say? Like, you got me, Gav. I'm your brother.
Yeah, but I have you on an old contract. You know what I mean? When it comes up for renewal, I'm in trouble.
But what I was saying with a lot of people talking about Bale and THIAGO and the comparisons, there's no comparison. The Bale signing shows an absolute absence of forward planning thinking.
It's reckless.
It's a signing to appease the fan base, which is crying out for anything because they're not all-time low. They've been lower than where they are now, but they are, struggling. Their fan bases, the football's dire. They need a pickup moment, right? R1, which we've already discussed. I know Callum's just joining us, but we've already discussed. R1 is of the thought process of evolving our play. It's for the future. Our play is looking, our formation, our tactics are looking to evolve with THIAGO in our team. Gareth Bale is looking to make an impact from right wing. And as Gav says, he hasn't played football for 2 years or whatever. God knows what state of fitness he is. It could turn out to be a very good signing, but it's not a forward thinking him up in terms of the team evolution. No. Yes, I absolutely rate Regolion. I butchered his name more than Gav. Is that possible? But okay, I've done it. Right?
Delighted with that.
The fella from Seville.
Simon.
The man from Del Monte.
Simon from over there, right?
Yeah.
He's an absolute baller. And I'm very angry and
Apparently,
jealous that
apparently United after losing out on him are looking at Alex Telles. Is he another left back?
Porto.
Yeah, that's the word going around.
Let's just
Luke
say
Shaw,
that
new
the people
model.
that are comparing the two thought patterns behind the process of the thought patterns of signing Bale and THIAGO for Liverpool and saying, "Oh, slightly same age, etc., etc." It's not. THIAGO is at the peak of his career, coming off winning a treble for Bayern. Blah 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 blah. Bale's coming off a golf course. Come on, work it out, man.
Yeah, that's not looking to dig him out. You know, he done damage to us. We all know that in the Champions League. He's had his moments. He's had his moments, but I agree. I don't think his injury record hasn't been great, you know, at Real Madrid in general. And I think, you know, it's a lot of money for Spurs. They got a big loan out. We all know one of the clubs that got a big loan to do their business. And this seems reckless to give that money for a year for Gareth Bale. I think he stays there. I think he's not going back to Real Madrid, and I think he'll do a contract that'll be much more friendly to Spurs at the end of it. But it doesn't seem like a good business. And
can I ask a question? Has he got a year left on his Real Madrid?
I don't know.
No idea.
I think he's got a couple of years now. I think it's a couple of years.
Well, then he is going back to Real Madrid.
No, I think
he won't.
Gareth Bale is on 600 grand a week. Fucking Real Madrid, okay? Now Real Madrid are obviously paying him 350. Spurs are going to pay him 250. At the end of this, if Real Madrid say you can go for free, right? He's going to want a signing on fee at Spurs, right? As a free agent. And the second thing is, do you think he's taking a drop from 600 to 250?
I think he will.
You think he's taking?
I think for the last couple of years of his career.
Of course he will, Gav.
You think he's taking a 60% drop in his wages to go to Spurs?
I know you wouldn't, but he will. You're talking about.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. In a year's time, if Gareth Bale is leaving Real Madrid on a free, I can guarantee you there's at least 2 to 3 clubs that will pay him more than Spurs will. So he's not staying at Spurs.
But I think he has a connection with Spurs, and I think that's
connection me bollocks, Keith.
No,
he
doesn't.
He doesn't. He played for Southampton. He couldn't win a game at Spurs. He was running around number 3. Then he made him number 11. He had 2 good seasons, and he hit the jackpot. Right,
yeah,
he doesn't have any ties to fucking. He doesn't have any ties to Spurs. He doesn't.
They love him.
He doesn't. That's a romantic notion.
He's one of their own.
Listen, come here, I tell you. We'll see how much of a tie he has when Real Madrid at the end of next year say, listen, we don't want to pay you 600 grand a week anymore. You can go for free. We're ripping up your contract. And he says, well, I want 15 million of it. And they say, yeah, no problem. There you go. 15 million is better than paying you fucking whatever it is over the year, right? And then Spurs come in and go, can we have you for 200 grand a week? And they go, no, because PSG or somebody along them lines will go, we give you 350 for a year, no problem. That's what's going to happen to Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale is going to do 1 2-year deal and one year deal, and then he'll be done. That'll be the end of it.
Krishna Agarwal says in the chat there, he's lost his hunger to play the game, and it's really sad, and it is. But you know, he brought it on himself in a way. I don't have too much sympathy for him. But enough of him. Enough of Gareth Bale. Liverpool links. Everyone in the chat's hopping about a link to Diogo Jota from Wolves. I wouldn't get overly excited about that one, but Grizz, we've seen other links coming out today. Do you want to start us off on some of the attacking links we may be looking into?
So yeah, we'd probably come to Ismail Sarr last out of the names I've got fresh today.
So hold on, these are new names.
Oh, yes. Yeah, these are names that I've got today. I don't know if they're new names.
Hold on, I get a pen.
They're new to me.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. What Grizz says for now, until Grizz is proven wrong, I've just got to sit here and eat this humble pie. I've got to just take.
No, it's not that. I mean, a word on that. It's cow.
You could tell me Dan Watts was signing for Liverpool, and I believe him at this stage.
No, but it's not that. It's not. And you know, guys, on a serious level, right? We've had a laugh and we have had a joke and everything, but on a serious level, we started off this transfer agenda show, and I made it clear that by all means, I'm not the gospel when it comes to LFC transfers. If I hear anything, I will say, yeah, that's info based, and then it's up to you guys to believe it or not. I don't force anyone. I don't, I'm only aggressive with you guys because you're my homies and my brothers, but the rest can either ignore, mute, block, follow, do what you want. what I said, what this transfer show was based on was we're going to talk about all links that we hear in the newspapers, everything, and give our opinions on them. But, you know, there is some information that I sometimes receive, and I'll pass that on in good faith. And if you guys want to believe me, fair enough. But some people take it way too seriously, man. I've had people dedicate threads and accounts to me and run off their mouths like proper Twitterati, you know, mafia. Like, oh, Grizz, a fraud. I am a fraud. My mum and dad still call me a fraud to this very single day.
Well, I consider you a fraud when you try to sell, you try to pair Pakistan and England against each other for your cricketing skills.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
I'll
that's
never forget that.
I am, but it's silly how people take it on a different level and start the abuse. And I've had kind of racist abuse and personal attacks and people finding out where I live and, oh, you're just...
that was me. I'll put your address out.
Was it you? Google Map. Did you fucking Google Map my fucking address and shit? Like, proper took pictures. Google images of my house and shit. But listen, forget all that, man. People lighten up a bit onto it. You don't need to take me seriously. You don't listen to me. I'm not forcing you to. But, you know, you can disagree and say, oh, we don't believe that. No problem, man. No problem whatsoever. But the abuse and that, it's a bit serious. And we know most of them wouldn't even say it to my face because I'm a Rottweiler, you know what I mean? I'm a grizzly bear, you know, they wouldn't last.
Mean fighting machine.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you.
Christopher says, Grizz saw me at Dyson and it didn't have a bag.
I can do that shit. But anyway, listen, man. Look at the time, man. I need to get my beauty sleep. I've been up early. Listen,
Keith, what do you mean you were up early? I woke up at about 2 o'clock.
That's very late. Keith, I gave you the names. I texted you the names, but I've forgotten most of them now. But yeah, no. Okay, so Chukwueze.
Yeah, okay. Samuel Chukwueze.
Villarreal winger. Go on, Keith.
Villarreal winger, right? He's a Nigerian. He's 21. Very compared with Arjen Robben, and I suppose it ties in with maybe the Sarr link. It's a similar type of player. It's an unpredictable winger. The other players that you've linked, the 3 players' names that you sent me, Grizz, are all totally different, right? They're not the same. The second player is Emi Buendia off Norwich, who's an attacking midfielder who could probably play, I don't know, in the front 3 maybe at a push, but you know, he did have, I think, behind Trent in the assists or chance created chart or something last season, so he was very productive when he played in the league, but he didn't play all the time, which was a bit of a worry. And the third name is Marcus Thuram, Lillian's young fella, and he's 6'4". You know, he's not a winger. He's not, well, I know he's played out wide, but he's not a flea-footed winger. You know, he's a big centre-forward type of character. So 3 different types of players. What do you think will happen with these players, Grizz? What do you think the club are going to do?
These are just inquiries. These are the ones that I've heard we've made inquiries for at some stage this week. None of them are advanced talks or anything. We've just inquired about these players. So I'm just passing on. Now, before I wake up to fucking threads about, he said, we're buying Benji.
I can't wait for that.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to be the one who starts it, Grizz. I'm not going to lie. Myself a burner account.
You have to get me out of the way first.
I was in the house again. But before anyone says we're buying, Grizz said, and we're going to buy these players. No, man, I'm just saying these are the players we made inquiries for. Now, the big news of the night is that we have... I remember us sort of saying that. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago where I said we've begun talks with Sarr's people, Ismail Sarr and Watford? Well, lo and behold, the Liverpool journalists have finally caught up and said, we're very interested in Ismail Sarr. Well, I'm a week ahead again. You know, fingers crossed, touch wood, I'm a week ahead again. We've actually put in a bid for Ismail Sarr. We've made a very lovely bid of 25 million. You know how we do, you know, Edwards, going low and see what this reminds me very much of the Jamal Lewis situation, where we're trying to get Ismail Sarr and Watford. We've initially tried to get them on a loan deal, on a mad loan deal with an obligation to buy it, but Watford have refused that. So then we've put in a bid. They want 40 million. We put in a bid of 25 million to test the waters. take it away, chat, see what you think, see what you guys think. Ismail Sarr, I'm just passing on what I've heard, and let's take it from there. I think it's one of those ones with Jamal Lewis where we've put in a really low bid and said, Cal's gonna, hear my street accent and way I deal with. So we've just given them. So we're just. So we've said,
you're like someone out of an ad for Lilt.
We said we've just said he'll look 25 million away after.
Yeah, so, say totally tropical taste.
Totally tropical taste.
There you go.
So, yeah,
there you go.
So basically,
if they ever remake Cool Runnings, I tell you, you're the fella at the front of the sleds.
Oh, that's made my day.
But yeah, this is the situation. Take it away, guys. Whether you think of Ismail Sarr as a player and whatever, the fault's yours.
Callum, what do you make of these links to Sarr? Is he one that excites you? Is he one that interests you? Is he the type of player you think we need? Or does it worry you maybe? Some people have put in the comments about the African connection with the AFCON and all that sort of thing. Is it something that worries you, or is it, look, get it done and we'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it?
So with the African Cup of Nations, I believe the next one's going to be in the summer again, isn't it? I mean, that's the rumor that's going around.
No, I read that it's actually in January, but it's for only for African base.
It's not
players.
AFCON. There's two tournaments. And there's one that's called AFCON, and the other one is only for players based in Africa. And I think that's the one that's on in February, so it won't affect us.
Okay.
It's something that I don't think will impact us. Hopefully, but hopefully they do look at doing it in the summer because it is a hindrance. But it doesn't seem to impact Liverpool's transfer business.
I can't see either of them happen the way things are going on in the world. But anyway, sorry, Callum.
Yeah. I'll be honest. So I think Sarr's a very good player, and we spoke about this earlier, me, Drifty, and Matt. I think Sarr would have been perfect for us maybe 2-3 seasons ago. I think what the issue is with getting someone like Sarr, and I might be contradicting myself in a sec when I speak about Chukwueze, but I think Sarr's not a player that can come in straight away and challenge that front three. I think the front three will still be comfortable knowing it's only Sarr who's behind them. Whereas I think Chukwueze is slightly further ahead in his development. And I also think just having a little balance of having that left-footed player on the right-hand side, similar to what Salah is, just replicating that, I think that would be make more sense for us. But again, if we got Sarr, I'm not going to sit here and be upset about it. I just think there are better players out there. Even someone like a Moussa Diaby from Leverkusen, I think, would be someone who's good. But again, I'm at a point now, if Klopp and Edwards want a player, I sit back, I smile, and I say, they've got a plan.
Do you know something, Keith? Sorry to jump in, but we're talking about Sarr, and you still have to look at the quota, Keith. And it's all very well saying we'll sell Wilson and we'll sell Brewster, who wouldn't be one of our homegrown, so we'd be okay there. But we need THIAGO coming in means we're one over the top, and if Sarr come in, we're two over the top. So you need to start looking at getting players out to fulfill this. Otherwise, you could go down the route. And I think you said it, Keith, earlier to me in the chat on WhatsApp. You said they'll go out on loan, Gav. They'll go out on loan with an obligation to buy. And I see the sense in that now, because an obligation to buy means they're gone. You don't want a possibility or an option, because if you have an option, they'll go, we don't want the option. You send them back, and we're completely and utterly snookered then, because there's another year gone off the contract. People know 100% we need to get rid of them, whether it's, Gruwich, Karius, I don't know who else, but Shaqiri. They're the three that are being linked. I think there's more chance of it being Gruwich and Karius, to be honest with you. I think Shaqiri has slightly more of a chance than the two other lads. For the simple reason is, if THIAGO's coming in and you're talking of a 4-2-3-1, I think Shaqiri could become cover in one of those three behind the front men, and that's where he's absolutely suited. So we have to watch this quota. Having said that, if the African Nations is in January and it's for African-based players only, we're absolutely fine. And then if you have another one in the summer, sure, listen, the Euros are on anyway. And then you have a World Cup the following year, whatever it is. Well, the World Cup goes into December, doesn't it? But all these competitions are in doubt. And They really are. Like, I know we're sitting here in September 2020 going, but it's January and then it's June and then it's November, December. No, they're in doubt because this is going on 6 months now and it looks nowhere near ending. Nowhere near ending, you know. And so Liverpool have to weigh that up as well. But if Sarr is the one, yeah, I'm absolutely happy to go with it because I've done research today on the African nations. I got it completely wrong. Shawnee asked me, was I smoking something? I said, no. He said, well, listen, don't go back and read it. This is the actual facts. Wiley sat at a pool in Spain and he made me feel great. Shawnee makes people feel great. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Head of overseas relations at the moment.
Correct. Correct. Great. I heard he got picked up at the airport by a UN Jeep. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the Daytrippers ambassador there over in Spain.
Yeah.
But it's one of these. I do think the quote is a genuine thing, and I think either Liverpool have deals lined up now, or they have bids that they're willing to accept for Carragher, for Grealish.
I was just going to say, guys. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, guys. The way we operate, and again, you know, I'm going to sound like I'm on the FSG payroll, but the way we operate, we won't get caught with our pants down type of thing with this quota thing. As I said last week as well, you know, it's proper gloat day for me, innit? But I might as well, man. Tomorrow's another day. We go again. I'll start getting cussed again. So you know what I mean, gloating while I can.
Yeah,
but
the
bids have been coming in for our players that you've mentioned, and they will all have an understanding of a bit more, and you're done. The deal can be okayed. So we will be absolutely fine in terms of quota and, you know, homegrown and etc. Because I'm pretty certain. Again, this is information based that a lot of these deals are very, very near conclusion. So after THIAGO now, we will hear a lot of these. I've told you about the bids that we've had for incoming players. They will be accepted just as long as they're pushed up slightly. And if not, you know, they will be reluctantly loaned with obligation to buy. But that's the last option we're looking for. So I think we'll be fine, man.
Don't be surprised if Michael Edwards goes in and Watford end up giving us Sarr and we're giving them Carragher.
Oh, sorry. Now you say this, I'm trying to look up something when you mentioned Sarr, and I can't walk this Instagram. I'm trying my best, but I'll find it out in a minute.
We're learning.
No, I have it.
975 likes. So hit that like button.
I have it. Listen, you gotta give me 25 likes for this, right? And it's at Carl_M79 on Twitter. It was a guy called Adam Duffy sent it to me on Instagram and it made me laugh. He said, Carl's tweet earlier said, fully expect Michael Edwards to land Sarr for £500 paid over 4 months via PayPal credit and a signed Divock Origi Champions League final shirt. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
But that is, can we rule it out? No, we can't.
No, you can't.
We can't rule out nothing, man. I'm telling you, guys. That's the funniest memes as well. I don't know if you guys have seen that drunk fella that goes into the off license and puts a Red Bull in there. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, slams 50p down.
Yeah. Here's 50p. Fuck you or something.
Sorry, one other thing. Someone's asked me about the pictures behind me. I'll try to get out of the way and do this. I don't know if I can do it. How do I get out of the way? Let me see. Yeah, so that's Jurgen Klopp, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then you have Virgil van Dijk and you have Sadio Mane. They're all in kind of retro stuff. That is done by a man called At Entire Design. His name is Jimmy. He's an artist that does Liverpool stuff. You would know him from Twitter. But Jimmy very kindly sent me the I suppose the PDFs or whatever you would call it of those, and I got them blown up onto canvases. But a lot of people ask about that, so there they are. It's Klopp, it's Trent, it's Mane, and it's VVD. Just to let you know. Sorry, Keith.
No, that's all good. It's on everyone's lips there at the moment, so it's good to have it in. Lads, I don't think there's much more. Have you got anything else to talk about? It's happy Grizz Can Day, happy THIAGO Alcantara Day. Callum, what's the apple juice? We're getting a lot of traction on the 16 litre of apple juice that you're drinking.
I'm trying to secure some sponsorship with Tesco at the moment. This is Growers
Harvest.
the finest apple juice in the world. Shout out to Tesco. They say every little helps, but you know what? This helps me get through every day. So Tesco, if you're listening, why don't you sponsor
Join the
both
thing,
channels?
Tesco. Yeah.
Follow LFC, Daytrippers, and Coppish. I mean, Tesco, 2 for 1. We like a deal, you like a deal. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
All my
Grizz
dignity
is just
gone.
going to bring a cow in now from the back garden.
This is Daisy.
and ask the co-op for a sponsorship deal.
We're on
1,000 likes as well,
998
people.
likes.
1,000 likes.
Are we gone over 1,000?
Oh, we've hit 1,000
well
likes.
done.
What lads? What a set
There
of
you
lads.
go. Well
Fully
done.
deserved.
1,000
Fully
likes.
deserved.
You know what we do now,
Very
don't you?
kind.
We'll fucking give out yards. We will now tomorrow night if we don't get 1,100.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have to hand it to Mind Over Matter, who's a massive pusher of likes on this show. Don't even know who he is, don't know his real name, but he puts in a massive shift, and he says to us, "Great job, lads." Well, great job from you, because in the chat you've been absolutely hammering people until they hit that like button. So there you go.
Yeah, top notch. And tomorrow,
we got to wrap it up soon because I've got to go
there
sleep.
he goes. Yeah,
And
there he goes.
I'm putting on my sleeping attire.
Relax, please, Stevie Wonder.
There you go. Put the little matchstick in your tweet as well there, Grizz. I like Sylvester Stallone and Cobra.
I'm sleeping like this tonight, bro.
He looks like Sylvester Stallone. Listen, I can't even say that. I get into trouble.
Listen. Tomorrow night we want 1,000 likes. We want 2,000 viewers. We'll be doing a follow up on the big Nathaniel Clyne, the Crystal Palace story that we had today that didn't get enough attention. And we'll see us all. We'll leave it there. Listen, Callum, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Busy night for you, and we appreciate you coming in.
No, thank you for having me, guys. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Good stuff. Gav, pleasure as always having you in there.
Absolutely loved it. The mix of football talk and just slagging each other and having a laugh. That's what it should be all about, all the time. And listen, in all seriousness, you know, I'm eating cans at the minute, not even drinking them. But in all seriousness, the support of the people, you know, has been exceptional. Tonight is for them as much as us. I'm being honest with you, because they've stuck with us, they've supported us, and even when we were going, Grizz is fucking gonna fuck this up now over THIAGO, isn't he? And we're all finished. These people showed massive faith. I'm only messing. We love Grizz from the bottom of our hearts. But listen, they've come on. They've enjoyed it with us tonight. You know, we have another show tomorrow night. The Friday forecast. We have got Instagram before and after the game with Chelsea on Sunday. We had the Fatback Forward again on Sunday night, and then we're into a new week, and we're going to absolutely lash it over with content again. So just thanks a million to everyone that's watching it. The support is unbelievable.
Good stuff. And Grizz Khan, this has been your time to shine. This has been your day.
No,
and,
man, it's got nothing, absolutely none. You know, on a serious level, you know, we're all Liverpool fans. Aside from the banter and everything, we all want the best for Liverpool, and people have different opinions on what's best for Liverpool in terms of how to get to sort of the best Liverpool we can possibly get, and that's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their opinions and thoughts on how the club should be run, but at the end of the day, you know, we want success for Liverpool, and signing players like THIAGO will only enhance that, will only give us the best, will give us more of a platform, more of a sort of a base to build upon. What we've already got is a fantastic club, a fantastic manager. We go again tomorrow, boys. We go again.
Good stuff. What better way to end the show than Grizz Khan doing a Miss World type speech?
I thought you were going to ask about a special talent that he was going to take out the guitar.
Sorry, guys. Loads of people in the comments keep on asking about this building question. What's the building question?
Oh, for fuck's sake! I thought we got away with this. Listen, we'll ask him.
Yeah, but it's not his first time.
Callum. Yeah, no. It's not. If you're on your first time, it's if you've been asked a question. He's never been asked a question, I don't think. So, Callum, here's the question. And Sean, he's gonna fucking kill us for asking this, but listen, he might let us away with it because it's THIAGO night.
He's away, sorry.
He's not. He's probably what he's watching. I know he's watching. He fucking watches everything. He's the head of watching. So, Callum, here's the question: 2 buildings, 50 stories high. Okay, flat roofs on both of them. Flat roofs, and I want you to jump from one building to the other. I want to know what the maximum distance between those buildings could be that you could jump.
No, I think Cal's an athlete. You know, we could be.
Yeah, you fucking Tanya. Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Peak you.
No, I will.
Go with a cowardly answer here.
Yeah, don't back yourself, Callum. But what I will say to you is, you have got 11 miles an hour wind behind you, which is helping. You are allowed wear a cape, just in case. And and there is and this was put in by Andy Young, Notions, as he's known to a lot of people. You are allowed to have, like a steps down the side of the building, like a fire escape. So you can grab onto that if you feel like you're not going to get there.
If you miss, you have a chance of saving yourself.
Yeah. Other than that, certain death.
I'm gonna say I'm 6 foot, so I'll say about 6'5". I'd say 2 meters.
You could step over there. Callum, you get a run, you get a cape.
No, you're getting a run. You're getting a run at this.
Yeah.
You're getting a run at this, Callum. 11.
I know, but the body's not what it used to be.
I'm not surprised. You're rotting it with that bleeding orange juice every fucking day.
I'm a Lallana, not a Milner.
Yeah, that's the end.
That's 25 foot or nothing.
That's the end of that Tesco negotiation.
Yeah. All of Radcliffe said you could do 20 meters, so
you know what? Yeah. Even a man like me, right? Who's
here we go. 8 meters. Watch.
He was going a minute ago. He's back in here.
Yeah. No, I've got to go. No,
go on. Let's go. No, go
I'm
ahead.
Just saying, even me, like, so I'm 5'10", right? 5'9", 5'10". Right?
5'8" myself.
6'2".
Which heels I'm wearing that night, right? but even
Kill running,
saying,
telling you.
No, but even I'm saying I'm confident, like I'm measuring out, right? Meters right now.
He's actually speaking in this. He's actually speaking in this accent.
I like it. Yeah. He flits between Irish and this sort of.
Hey, you don't even know about my talent.
Fucking turning to Usain Bolt here. Go on.
But listen, cut a long story short, I think I'm not going to talk about my sort of what I can do. I think Kyle's selling himself short, man. 2 meters, man.
I think he'd do 9 foot.
9 feet.
Why'd you convert into feet?
Because that's the way to do it. It's like in golf, people don't talk in meters, they talk in yards. Man. No, yards in golf.
I forgot you're Irish.
A very good point there by somebody. Should look at bleeding Tom Cruise. Jumps everywhere.
Yeah.
In all the films.
4'6".
Yeah.
If he's listening, no offense, Tom, if you're listening.
I think with 11-mile wind and like top of my natural
Cape.
I think I can do 5 meters.
Yeah, okay. 5 meters. Well, listen, if you're doing 5 meters, you're fucking sponsored by Goodyear, and you're flying over some sort of competition. I'm being honest with you.
Can we go now? Boy, I'm flying tonight.
Can we go now?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up now.
Over that building, man. You don't know me.
We've been the LFC Daytrippers. It's been THIAGO Thursday. We'll see us all again tomorrow.